on the channel, we head to space. Beautiful this time of year for the brand new Simpsons Super 7 Ultimate Edition line with Deep Space Homer.
The spirit of the warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Super 7 Ultimate Edition unboxing and review. But today on the channel, we got something extra special. We got our first go around the sun in more ways than one with Deep Space Homer from, of course, the Simpsons Ultimate Edition wave. And this wave, of course, was delayed. We've been very excited about it. It's been a long time since we've got Simpsons figures, because they've had a few incarnations over the years going all the way back to the Mattel days. And I always missed out on the Playmates one. I was at a time in my life where I couldn't really afford to collect that kind of stuff, so I didn't, but I always kind of regretted it. I always thought, man, it'd be cool to have the whole Simpsons universe. And now I guess we get a chance to do it all over again via Super 7. We're just not going to have as much product as maybe the Playmates guys put out. But very interesting to get Simpsons in the Ultimate Edition line, but one that is very fitting. The most successful cartoon of all time, I think, really, at the end of the day. And we've talked about it on the channel. Kyle hasn't seen a lot of movies and stuff. I was always an albums guy, listening to music. So people say, you've never seen Indiana Jones, you've never seen this, you've never seen that. Well, you haven't listened to the deep cuts of the band Jaguar and things like that, the new wave British heavy metal. All those albums over and over. That's where I spent my time. But the thing I did spend my time on, and I still spend my time on to this day, is The Simpsons. Much like I discussed not too long ago, I never missed an episode of Monday Night Raw in the 30-plus year history now of the show. I've never missed an episode of The Simpsons, going all the way back to the Tracy Ullman days when they were in there. I saw every episode of those, and I have faithfully watched The Simpsons week in and week out for the entire run. And I'm a guy, maybe it's OCD, maybe it's psychological, I just can't give up on things. Even though The Simpsons, it's not quite as the glory days as it used to be, it still brings me back, it still gives me that nostalgia. And on Sunday nights, you know, hey, I feel like a kid again watching it. And that's how I get with The Simpsons, and I've never missed an episode, like I do say. Now, it's been a long time since I went through and watched all the old episodes. I used to watch the reruns like a lot of people back in the day, and a lot of people still do to this day. But it's been a long time since I've watched some of these deep ones. I pretty much just watch the new stuff and move on to other things. But this one is definitely iconic. This is one we definitely do remember from way back in the day. And of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews here on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And I'm excited about this one. Let's see what's going on. And we got old Homer in the Ultimate style packaging. I guess I should show this, of course, as usual. Let me start here. Let me back the truck up a little bit. You get the cover here, the nice cardboard cover. Protects the figure, protects everything in here. Just another avenue of protection. Looks really good with the Simpsons there. And then we do get the slipcase cover that we're used to with Simpsons figures and all Ultimate figures. You got the Simpsons right there in the clouds. Makes all the sense in the world. And on the back, of course, Deep Space Homer. You've got Homer right there looking good in his astronaut outfit. And you got Matt Groening's autographed right there as well. So there's the slip cover. As always, I do save these packaging. We'll see if that ends up sticking, because I'm really building up a collection of packaging at this point. But now we got Homer out of the package, and look at all those accessories. Of course, a big figure Homer is in the package here, looking really nice, looking good, all kinds of stuff. Of course, Simpsons logo well down here. Deep Space Homer, love the blue packaging. I mean, this really does stand out. And of course, like I said, this is very nostalgic to longtime fans of The Simpsons. Very interesting. I will say, however, and this was some of the gripe when they announced this, we talk, of course, every Saturday, the toy news on the channel here, so make sure you do subscribe. But a year ago, year and a half ago when these were announced, I did have some grief with it, because I really feel like every set needs like a core member of the family, at least in the first 4 or 5 sets for sure. And they didn't really do that. Instead of a traditional Homer, we got Deep Space Homer. And now I understand what they're doing, because there's so many characters in the Simpsons universe. And if they put the core family in Series 1, guess what? Game over. People buy Series 1, they are done from there. If you put them in every couple of sets, it gets people staying in the game, and they're seeing, oh, wait a minute, Itchy Scratchy's in this one, Krusty the Clown, maybe I'll pick that. It makes people hopefully buy stuff. But the problem is, and we've seen this with lines in the past, the flame burns out before you get the core characters done. I don't think that'll be the case with Super 7. Got to think Simpsons isn't the cheapest license to get. I think they're going to get their money out of it. I know they know there's money in the core characters, so before things are all said and done, we will get the core characters, but I think it's going to be slow going, and theoretically it could take us 4 or 5 years to get the main characters, and that's very frustrating to some people, and that does have the opposite business effect, where it does tune people off to the line. They say, forget this, I'm out of this line, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to wait that long. But interesting first series for Homer to be Deep Space Homer, but we'll see what all the fuss is about here in a second. On the back of the package, there's old Homer with some potato chips, of course, flying through space, eating those. And it looks like we got a little bit of a blurb here. Let's see what it says about old Homer J. Simpson. Deep Space Homer appears in Deep Space Homer Season 5, Episode 15. Original air date, February 24th, 1994. What a time to be alive that was. Oh, 94. 94. Sure, why not? But I do like that. It does reference this, gives you a little history. You can look that up if you want to go to Netflix or probably Disney Plus in this day and age. You can search out that episode if you want to, and bam, there you go. You got your reference material. So I really do like that idea. Of course, on the top here, Super 7 Ultimates, all that usual stuff. Gonna take them out of the plastic prison. Oh, very cool background on this one. You guys know I'm a sucker for packaging. I don't maybe keep all my packaging, but I love the whole art of everything, as you guys know. But you got all the different Simpsons characters back here. You can kind of see it there in red, but looks really, really nice. That's a nice attention to detail. That could just be a plain red background. Instead, they went the extra mile. Fabulous, fabulous packaging. Got to give the packaging its due here. But then we got Homer in the old plastic prison. I'm going to take it offline to get him out of here. But all kinds of stuff. We got extra heads, hands, you name it. All that's going on right there. So let me take this offline. Let me get Homer out of the package, and we'll be back talking Deep Space Homer. All right, are we ready for this? We got Homer Simpson out of the package. Time to dive in on this one. I will say a lot of tape, a lot of twist ties, things like that. So got to take things like this offline, and that's what we did. So we got Homer here, but we're going to start with the accessories on Homer first. And like usual, we're going to start off with some hands. Now, Homer's ready for space. He's got 2 fists of fury in case an alien comes by him, something like that. He can throw down if he needs to. But we do get extra hands here with Homer. We do get some gripping hands right here, a little bit kind of a splayed out hand. Of course, in Simpsons fashion, you got 3 fingers and a thumb, 4 fingers, whatever you want to call it. Nice grade gloves here. Look just fine to me. No issues with that. Got the nice pegs on here. It's like the screwdriver, or I should say screw-like pegs here. So it'll be interesting to see how hard those are to get off. We'll dive into that in a second. Then we do get 2 gripping hands, tight gripping hands here. You're going to need that for the rod and other things there. So we do get some hands. Choose your own hand adventure, as we always say here on the channel. Then we do get the ant farm here. We remember that, of course, in space. The old ant farm there. Very iconic to the episode, I guess, kind of. But Super 7 does not shy away from giving us deep cut accessories, and that's kind of what this is. Obviously, we do remember this from the episode. But ants in space, who'd have thought it there? But there it is. Very cool, nice framed out, nice display piece right there. Then we do get potato chips. So we do get a bag of potato chips. And feeling this, I wish I had it to compare real close to me. I mean, I could walk in the other room and get it. But this bag of potato chips reminds me a heck of a lot from the Ren and Stimpy Ultimate Collection. We unboxed those on the channel here. But it reminds me of the kitty litter bag they had. So I think that was in gray. I think it's the same exact bag. I could be wrong, but it is a potato chip bag. I love that it's all hard plastic. It's not soft. It's not plastic. It's just really hard, tough plastic. That works for this line, just like it worked with Ren and Stimpy with the kitty litter. It says potato chips on the front. And this thing, the ant farm, some of this stuff, like I always say on these videos, if you're a figure photographer, things like that, you want stuff for your Ninja Turtles, whatever, you can smoke and mirror some of this stuff in, and that is really fun if you want to use this with some of your other lines. Of course, we do get that nuclear rod here that was flying through space. Of course, we remember that as well. Nice glow to this. Nice greenish, yellowish color. I believe it'll fit in this hand. Yes, it will. It'll fit. The really, really tight hand, I don't think it's going to fit into, but it will right there if you want to grab it. Looking really good. Now we go back to potato chips, and I am not a huge fan of this, but it is definitely neat. It is definitely interesting. It is just single potato chips, and it looks like, to me, my old buddy, my old outlaw friend, Waylon Jennings, he told me these are Ruffles. He knows. He's an expert on that kind of stuff, and he said these are Ruffles, and they are plain Ruffles, so for those keeping track at home. Nice bend to these. They're a little bit softer. I thought these would be a little bit harder, but you get 7 individual potato chips here. These are just asking to be lost, though. I will not be displaying these with my Homer. I'm going to put these in a baggie so they're safe, but I could see people losing these if you're not careful. But you do get 7 chips. I'm not sure exactly what you're going to do with 7 of them. I could see maybe having 1 just to have in his hand, but 7 of them, he can't hold all these. So it's a little bit strange, a little interesting. Would have loved to see the chip bag to be sealable. You could have thrown them in there as storage, but maybe that's asking a little much. But it is ingenious, and once again, if you're a collector, a toy photographer out there, you could probably use these from different toy lines and stuff. You could have these in the turtle lair, like I always say, maybe the X-Men mansion, whatever you want to do. Choose your own potato chip adventure, really, at the end of the day. So now we get down to the heads, and we're going to get down to Homer, and I guess we'll look at these 2 heads first. So we get an interesting head. Right off the bat, you know this is Homer Simpson, and it was pointed out to me that maybe the prototype didn't have quite the same beard color. It looks like it's a little off, but we see that from renders and things. There's always changes there, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of gripe going around. I try to stay away from reviews and things about toys that I'm going to be talking about because I don't want to have thoughts in my head from somebody else. I want my true first thoughts, but I did see some hubbub out there, and somebody sent it to me and said, hey, Mo was supposed to come with his apron. It didn't come with him. We'll dive into Mo. Subscribe to the channel. We'll get there. But stuff like that is, of course, going to be disappointing. But Super 7 does make things right a lot. I wouldn't be shocked to see, hey, we're sending everybody an apron separately down the line. That very well could happen. But we do got Homer right here. At the end of the day, though, anybody hands you this head, they're going to know who this is. I could hand this to anybody and say, who is this? They're going to say Homer Simpson. So they got the job done there. Super 7 gets a lot of flack, and in most cases, it is a little bit deserved, as the human face, the human sculpt, they've really, really struggled with. There's always a disconnect somewhere between what they want and what the final product is. That's the way it goes, I guess, sometimes. And I don't know if they're going to get better or you get out of the human face game. I'm not sure. But stuff like this, they nail. They nail the cartoon character. Like I said, this looks like Homer Simpson. You got the yellow skin. You got the 2 strands of hair. The waves in the back as I throw them around. Of course, the white eyes with the black pupils. He's got kind of the mouth together here. The inquisitive, uh-oh, I'm in trouble Homer kind of look going on. So it looks really good in the head department here. And then you got Homer with the mouth wide open. You can have him on a flight stand if you can find a heavy enough flight stand. He could be floating through trying to eat those potato chips out of the air like we saw in the episode, of course. Big, big mouth open for Homer. And the cool thing about these heads is we know there's eventually going to be a plain Jane regular edition Homer Simpson. I am hopeful, and I think this will be the case, we'll get different heads with that Homer. Let's say we get 3. I would imagine these heads will transfer over to that Homer as well. Then we'll have 6 different heads for Homer to choose our own head adventure with. So I'm hoping Super 7 is kind of playing a little of that long game out there, giving us some things we can use for future Homers and vice versa to mix things up. That makes a lot of sense to me. But it's the same head throughout, looking about the same, but looking really good. Now you got the big peg hole here. I've heard and I've seen from Super 7 over the years, sometimes it's hard to get those heads moving and shaking without a little bit of heat. We'll see how it comes down to Space Homer here. But let's grab the figure, let's take a look. And it's got some weight to it for sure. It's not like Stimpy the cat that weighed like a brick, but he is definitely heavier than your average figure, which is good. And he looks good in hand here. I like how he looks in the big astronaut suit. Got the big zipper down the front sculpted in. You got the badges going on, the little plug pieces here. You got the U.S. flag on the side. Even got the NASA logo. I would think that would be trademarked. Maybe they got the trademark. Who knows? You got the NASA logo on there. Of course, you got the blue around the collar, the blue on the side of the helmet, blue piping here, blue around the shoes. Besides that, it's pretty much just a white spacesuit. I mean, it is what it is. It is Deep Space Homer at the end of the day. I think a lot of people know what this is when they do see it. Now, articulation-wise, let's walk through that, and then we're going to dive into the head and how this whole thing works, and hopefully try to figure it out here on camera. But the arm does go all the way around. We do got a single jointed elbow. Joints flow pretty freely. I don't feel any tightness and definitely no looseness here. Hands back and forth, side to side. Now, how hard are these hands going to be to remove? What do you know? Pull right out. So that was very, very simple. No fighting, no screwdriver, no screw type thing. Pop in and out just like a traditional hand. That's how you want it to be for sure. Got a hula hoop at the top going on. Homer's got his big gut, his big belly there. And then you do get a little bit of splits. Not really a whole lot. Obviously, Homer's not going to be the most flexible guy anyways. Put him in a big suit like this, I guess you can't expect Spider-Man out of this one here. But that does look good. You do get the front pockets here that are sculpted in. It looks nice. You get a little bit of bend at the knee. Not tons and tons of articulation, but you do get some. Then you get the ankles up and down, side to side. You can go all the way around if you want, so you got the ankle cut there. So plenty of ankle articulation as well. Does he fit on a ringside collectible stand? As always, make sure you get the Mattel stand. I don't think it's going to work, though. It doesn't look like. Those are very small peg holes. And the Mattel ones are pretty small, and they're, oh my gosh, it does fit. So you can, very small, but if you want some extra stability, you can get the Mattel stands, Ringside Collectibles, a place to get these. Of course, use discount code Kyle, save 10%, but that does look really, really good. You can get the clear stands. I don't know if they're in stock with these, but they will be. They will be. Tell them Kyle sent you. There you go. But now we get down to the old main event. We get down to old Space Homer. He's got the big globe-like NASA helmet going on. Looks really good. Love the plastic through here, seeing Homer's head. I like how that looks. I'm going to assume it just pops off. No, it does. It just pops off. But, so it is a little bit tight trying to get it on there. And every time you take it on and off, you are going to scuff up that nose a little bit. There's no way around that for the most part. Yeah, there's no way around that. So I do got a little bit of blue mark on the nose on mine, so you got to make note of that. I also got a little scuff on one eye and a little bit of yellow on the eye as well. So this is the Homer head that comes with this one. But yeah, that's not the best. Not the best, and I would imagine all those heads, you pop these on, you're probably going to have the same issue. I would have to imagine. Does this pull out? I'm a little nervous here, but I think... No? Trying to think if this breaks, I don't want to say break in half, but I don't know. I think that does pull apart. I'm going to have to look at it. I'm not going to be Mr. Danger, but it looks like it does separate. Oh my gosh. It's an expensive mistake if you make it, but I believe that does separate. I might do that, and that might be the way to go to market on this one, to put that one on. Of course, we got a little plastic piece in here. Oh my gosh, I didn't see that either, but we got this little plastic piece in here that's kind of holding the neck in. Pop the head off, that'll come out, of course. And then on the back of the head, insert brain here, it says up there. So that's a kind of funny little Easter egg there as well. See how hard this is to remove? Yeah, I don't think this head's going anywhere. Oh, there we go. I did get it out. So I did pull the head out. We'll see how easy it is, but you get a little collar there, and then you put this back on, of course, and he will be in there. So that does help things a little bit. Let's see how hard it is to put one of these other heads on. I'm guessing it's not going to go as easy as I want it to go. Oh, no. Yeah, that's not going to go on there. So gonna have to heat the head up. I hate doing that stuff because, you know, I need to invest in hair dryer for my basement, maybe a little travel one, because I gotta walk all the way upstairs to my wife's bathroom and get her hair dryer and just go to work, and then you go back and forth. You guys know. But I'm not gonna be able to get this head back on. There's no way that's gonna happen. So I think, yep, usually that's how it goes. The normal one that's on there, that goes on very, very easily. The other ones struggle, but I'm going to have to heat these up, of course, to take pictures, things like that. But guess what? I like this Homer for what it is. This met my expectations. I know a lot of people were down on Super 7 about the Andre the Giant. I understand all the reasons for that. But this one hits home. This is a home run. I am glad this met my expectations. I like what I see here. Of course, like a lot of people, I would have liked a traditional Homer, but I am patient. I understand what they're trying to do. This does work at the end of the day. I just got to find how and where I'm going to display these guys in my collection. So I guess we'll stay tuned for that. And make sure you stay tuned for the rest of this wave, as we'll unbox all of them here on the channel like we always do. But hey, first time around the sun here, definitely works with Space Homer. I like what I see. I like the feel. I like the fit. Only bad thing I really have is the head's hard to get on, but you know, that could be fixed fairly easily. So very, very cool first edition in the Simpsons Ultimate line. Fingers crossed this is what we have to expect. Fingers crossed some of these move a little faster, we get these. And I'm excited for the Power Rangers line. Hopefully those come to me sooner rather than later. I don't know when those will be in stock. I know some people have got them. I have not yet, but hopefully sooner rather than later, like I said. But for me, Space Homer, hey, I like it. I like what I see here, and it did meet my expectations. And you can't ask for a whole lot more than that on a lot of days with action figures. But it looks good to me. But what say you guys out there? You picking up this Homer? You playing the long game? You admiring from afar? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel, because we got the rest of the Ultimate Simpsons Wave figures to unbox on top of everything else under the sun. So make sure you do subscribe to this very YouTube channel. Hit the old notification bell while you're at it. Don't forget about the Patreon for early access to videos like this, bonus content, exclusive content, you name it, and it is truly your best way to support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, and then don't forget about social media, SirPaul64 over there on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Deep Space Homer, I'm Deeper Space Kyle, and I'll see you guys all real soon.